Today on Eagle Nation News, Nick Anderson joins us from the cafeteria to clarify Prosper's new lunch schedule. What can students do to help lunch run smoother?
Goel Yongo reports on the total solar eclipse that Americans were able to see for the first time in nearly a century. Why was this such a rare occurrence? Goel Yongo dives into the science behind this phenomenon.
And finally, Caitlin Wessels will be interviewing Prosper High School band director Mr. Alstron on this year's halftime show. What can we expect come Friday Night Lights?
All this and more today on Eagle Nation News.
You are yada yada yada. Yada yada.
Live from Prosper, Texas, this is Eagle Nation News.
Good afternoon, Prosper High School. Today is Wednesday, August 23rd. I'm Jake Fine.
I'm Caitlin Wessels.
And I'm Cameron Silva.
Now, there's been some drama between the United States and North Korea for some time now, but the U.S. finally took some action the other day. Cameron, what's new?
The U.S. Office of Foreign Assets Control has imposed sanctions on a dozen Chinese and Russian companies due to accusations of helping North Korea produce nuclear weapons. China swiftly responded, demanding for the U.S. to correct its mistakes.
Next week, the Senate will begin to push a bipartisan health care agreement in an attempt to fix the healthcare system. This will be the first time that senators from both parties will be officially discussing the stabilization of Obamacare.
There has been a bit of confusion in the cafeteria with the new lunch schedule. Nick Anderson is there to hopefully help us better understand the changes. Nick?
Thanks, Jake. I'm standing in the Prosper High School cafeteria, where Prosper High added 3 new lunches to the regular 4-lunch schedule to make a total of 7. Now don't freak out. All the lunches are still 30 minutes. They're just overlapping by 15 minutes to make the lunch lines not as long as they were last year.
With the enormous amount of students at Prosper High, finding time for students to have their lunch break can sometimes be difficult.
We were looking at opening school this year with about 3,000 students in the building, give or take. And on our traditional schedule of 4 lunches, there was no way that we were going to be able to serve that many students at lunch, not to mention even have that many students in the cafeteria at any one time.
Even though the new schedule can be confusing, the staggered period truly is designed for the student, so that you can make it through the lunch lines faster, and it takes less time out of the day, so there's no time wasted.
Whether the new lunch schedule will be as time effective as we hope, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Nick Anderson.
Some getting used to, but it's nothing Prosper students can't handle.
After this commercial break, Goel Yongo reports on the total eclipse.
This week on Eagle Nation News, Prosper Fire Chief retires, the premiere of Game Time, Sutton Delaney takes on crew, and a unique inner-city farm feeds the homeless.
For your fast forecast, there's a high of 87 degrees with a low of 70. It will be mostly cloudy with a 60% chance of rain. For your fast forecast, I'm Tyler Winden.
Although solar eclipses happen fairly often, it has been almost 40 years since one has crossed the U.S., until this past Monday. Goel Yongo takes a look not at the sun, but at the science behind the eclipse.
The recent eclipse has many people in awe of our solar system. But what exactly happens when there is a solar eclipse, and how are they significant? A solar eclipse occurs when the moon is in front of the sun but behind the earth. That's what gives off the shadows called umbra and penumbra. When many people think of the solar eclipse, they think of the moon completely covering the sun. But that's not always the case. If you're in the penumbra region, you'll only see a partial eclipse. To see a full eclipse, you have to be standing in the umbra region.
So for ours lasted about 2 minutes and 40 seconds, which that's not the longest that we've ever had or will have. This is the first eclipse that we've had in 38 years.
The amount of totality roughly stays the same from Monday's eclipse to the eclipse in 2024, only differing about by 10 seconds. But the path the eclipse will travel is completely different. In 2024, the umbra region will travel northeast from Texas to Maine, with the point of totality cutting straight through Dallas. The reason the paths change from eclipse to eclipse is because the moon is always revolving around the Earth, and the Earth is always revolving around the sun on its axis. If all the axes of these planets were aligned, then we would get the same eclipse in the same position every few years. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Goel Yongo.
The next solar eclipse is in 2024, and we will be able to see it fully as the path of totality crosses through Dallas, Texas.
After the break, Caitlin Wessels will be in studio with Mr. Alstron discussing the behind the scenes of Friday Night Lights.
The Eagle stage crew will have an introductory meeting on Tuesday, August 29th, after school in room 1168G. Please see Miss Joyce for more information. The Engineering and Robotics Club is meeting Wednesday, August 23rd at 4:10 p.m. in Mr. E's room 1262. Learn how to build a competitive robot or drive to California in a car that you built. Anyone interested in joining the French Club, there will be a meeting during Eagle Time in room 1112 on Wednesday, August 23rd.
A major part of the atmosphere on Friday Night Lights is the band. Caitlin Wessels is in studio with the man behind it all, Mr. Alstron, to discuss what we can expect this year.
I'm here with our Prosper High School band director, Mr. Alstron. Thank you for being here today.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
In the past years, your marching band shows have had a theme. Is there a concept or storyline that you're using this year?
Yeah, absolutely. This year's show is entitled The Lost World, so everything stems back to that. It's kind of a mesh of Hook and the characters from Captain Hook meets Avatar.
And so what musical selections are you using this year?
Yeah, absolutely. We're doing a mix of movie music and classical music. So we lead off with our first movement. It's Dvorak's The Water Goblin. And we go into music from Captain Hook, so the arrival of Captain Hook and the arrival of Tink for our characters. And then we move into Samuel Barber's Violin Concerto, and we feature our soloists and our awesome percussion section.
So these shows are part musical, part visual. What visual aspects are you incorporating in your show this year?
Absolutely. It's a through composed idea. So everything from the silks to the color guard costume to the sleeves of the band, it's all matched and choreographed. But the real treat this year is we have 21 huts that move throughout the show and create the home of the Lost World tribe. And so that all comes to life.
Thank you for giving us a preview of your show.
My pleasure. Thanks for asking.
Now, hopefully everyone can understand this show come next Friday. Jake?
With the start of the school year means the start of Prosper Sports as well. Cameron Silva has the results of what Prosper students are looking forward to the most this coming semester.
What's up, guys? In case you missed it, last night I tweeted out asking what sport you guys are looking forward to seeing the most this semester. Here you can see that 63% of you voted football. Next you can see that 11% of you voted cross country, 15% of you voted volleyball, and 11% of you voted basketball. I'm looking forward to seeing the Eagles season this year, and thank you to everyone who participated in the poll. Make sure you are following at Eagle Nation News on Twitter to participate in more polls like this one. You know, guys, we saw the polls, but personally, I'm most excited for Prosper Eagles basketball.
I'm going to have to side with the poll here. Nothing beats Friday Night Lights for me.
But it was surprising that volleyball only polled 11% of the vote.
Especially since they were in action last night. You have the scores from that?
Prosper Volleyball played Richardson last night in the Eagles' Nest. Prosper pulled off a sweep, winning the first game 25-18, the second game 25-8, and the final game 25-14.
A few announcements before we go. If you are interested in competing for the UIL Current Events team or Social Studies team, see Ms. Cates in room 2232 during this week.
Gaming Club meets this Wednesday in the library after school from 4 to 5.
There will be a Science National Honor Society meeting for current members in Miss Robinson's room during Eagle Time tomorrow.
FCA will hold a student leadership meeting in room 2223 during Eagle Time this Thursday, August 31st.
Eagle Time options are as follows: tutorials, study hall in the library, cafeteria, main hallway downstairs, or in between the elbows.
Athletes with an 80 above in all of his or her classes may go to athletics. Similarly, seniors with a senior release with 80 above in his or her classes may leave. Failure to follow these instructions may result in disciplinary actions. Well, that's going to do it for our show today. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Cameron Silva.
I'm Caitlin Wessels.
And I'm Jake Fine. Live long and prosper.